We are live.
Good evening, everyone. Wow, I can't believe, Jasmine, this is the last in our 4-part series.
Yeah,
You believe that?
I can't believe it. Time is flying.
Time
this
is
year.
flying. And
Time is
just to
really flying.
recap, we are the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I'm Lynda V. Harris, Chairwoman of the Women's Business Council. And we've been doing a series every other month called Sharing the Knowledge Between Generations. Just so you know, just to recap, April 1st, we did How I Made My First Million, 2021. August 5th, we did The Money Moves I Wish I Would Have Made. June 3rd, we did Sharing Our Money Mistakes and Successes. That was a good one, Jasmine.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
That was good.
And now, October 7th, we're going to talk about being in the right room. You know, anybody saw that play Hamilton? There's a song they do, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. The room where it happened is huge. You want to be in the room where it happened. So this is what we're going to talk about today. And I have two absolutely wonderful guests. The first one, wait a minute, if you want to know about the room where it happens, this young lady is who we need to speak with. Miss Deanne Connolly Graham. Thank you so much for joining us. Deanne is the consummate social butterfly. She's on the Diversity Commission for Miami Beach. She's a chairwoman of the Miami Beach Women's Business Council.
Oh, wow.
And if you don't know her, you know of her. But more importantly, Deanne, I'm glad you know me. It's not that I know, you know what they say, it's not who you know, it's who know you.
Right.
Sister, I'm glad you know me. Thank you so very much. So how are you doing? And tell us about yourself.
I'm doing fantastic and feel honored and privileged that you have me on your program. I so admire you, Miss Harris. Let me tell you, my friend, I admire, I look at you and I say, that woman it's gone. So
Thank you so much.
Look to you, even though you're younger than me, I look to you as a mentor. So just so
girl.
you know.
Mentors goes across age lines.
Right.
What are you doing with Miami Beach and their diversity? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we started last year, actually, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council for the Miami Beach Chamber. That was
Equity and Inclusion. Okay.
Diversity, Equity, Inclusion. We actually started it pre-COVID, researching it, find out what was going to be needed pre-George Floyd. And then all of this stuff happened. So it kind of got on the back burner, but we revived it and we got it approved by our Board of Governors. So we were an official council as of last year. And we've done some great programming through that. And I'm very privileged that I was appointed to the City of Miami Beach new Black Affairs Advisory Committee, which is by the city. And I was appointed by the mayor, and I had to get special dispensation because although I work in Miami Beach, I don't live in Miami Beach. So all the commissioners had to say it was okay for me to be a part of that. But it's an excellent committee with some very powerful Black leaders on there. And we are actually looking to collaborate with the county's Black Affairs Advisory Board so that we're all doing this together. There's no point in us working in silos. And, and that's one of the things I want to share with people is, you know, sometimes our egos get in the way and we're all about our company, our organization, our stuff. And it really shouldn't be that. We are stronger together.
We are so strong together.
And especially as minorities, especially as women and people of color, we must work with each other. And so we are looking to collaborate with other organizations that are focusing on these issues so that we can be stronger together.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Deanne. I noticed that Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy joined us. Are you hearing us okay, Councilwoman? I think she's on mute.
Yes, I am.
Yes, thank you so much. Now, we talked about earlier, this is a 4-part series we've been doing, Councilwoman, and I know you're so busy. I didn't mean to blow up your phone, but you are such an inspiration. This is probably one of the youngest elected officials in Miami-Dade County, in Florida. And this topic, I tried to get her, Jasmine, 2 topics ago, and she said, I like the one in October, being in the right room, being in the right room. From you to go from working for the city of North Miami to now representing, what rooms were you in? You got to talk about being in the right rooms. You have a lot to say. And again, I so appreciate you coming on. I know you're busy, so feel free to just let us know if you have to jump off. This is a very busy time for us all. So thank you so very much, Councilwoman.
No, and thank you. And I'm sorry that I couldn't have my camera on because I'm literally pulled over on the side of the road. But no, being in the right room has been instrumental from the beginning. I think about when I got my first internship in middle school. I was literally like, in the right room in the classroom. I wasn't in my class, and I saw that there was a fair, and they're like, hey, if you want to earn, extra, hours for community service, come visit the museum. And it was in North Miami. So I visited the museum in North Miami. And then I started working there because I visited the right room, right?
Okay.
And I was 15 years old, first job, going into high school, and I have been working at the museum ever since. And even being in the room, yes, right next door to City Hall, right? So it started at 15. And then when I think about working right next door to City Hall, I knew that I wanted to work in government. I knew that I wanted to be an attorney and help people. I knew I wanted to do community outreach, but I just didn't know which room I needed to be in. And so I always said, hey, City Hall is right next door. I figured I should get a job there, but no, I went off to college. And then being in the right room, I found another internship that landed me in State Representative Janet Cruz's office. And from there, I realized I need to work in government. That internship in 2010 changed my life because I saw how being in the right room, by knowing what's going on during the legislative sessions, by knowing what's going on elected officials that represent you. I know we talk about the president and, Congress, but it's really the people in your backyard that affects you the most. And from there, I realized, okay, I need to constantly be in this room. So I went on to work for State Senator Arthenia Joyner. After college, my first job was working with a councilwoman in the city of Tampa. And I told her, I'm like, I would love this job if I was home, right? Because I know home, I don't know Tampa. And so my elected officials was being termed out, and my brother called me. He said, Cassandra, see if the city of North Miami is hiring. And I didn't see a job for him, but I saw a job that I applied for, and it was the city of North Miami. So I packed up my apartment because I got the job, and I moved back to North Miami. And just being in the right room, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to, defend the defenseless, but did I really want to go to law school? And then I realized I needed to work in government, because while being an attorney, you can defend the law. As an elected official, you can create the laws. So I realized then that my passion was public service. I was in the Public Service Academy in Turner Tech. And I just knew that I couldn't sit still. And so I got to a point, 5 years in North Miami. You know, as millennials, we can't sit still. We have to move, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting bored, right?
Right. What's the next step? Right.
I got to keep moving. I got to feed what's next, right? And then I realized, I was like, I always talked about running for office, but maybe when I was older. But then when John Lewis died, and this amazing, talking about good trouble, and to know that he started at 23, I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I'm behind.
Wow.
So somebody planted a seed. I thought about it. I prayed about it. I fasted about it. And God said, go. So when God says go, you just go.
God said go. I love it.
Go. And I said, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to raise all this money, but I'm going to go. And sure enough, my family supported me. Sure enough, my community supported me, because this is home. So I'm knocking on the doors, and it's not just talking to a random resident. I know their kids. One of them was my PE teacher, and she remembered my brother because he was so bad. And so, you're knocking on this door, and it's hitting home, and you realize I'm doing this all for the right reason. I quit my job, said I'm doing this full time because I really want to give it my all. So it all started with being in the right room. And if you're in the room, if you're paying attention, if you're taking notes, life can together full circle. I started at the museum when I was 15, and on June 1st, I was inducted into the North Miami City Council, facing the museum right outside. And it was just like, life is full circle. So it started at a young age, and I was constantly just, in tune of what I wanted to do. So I know being in the right room has gotten me here, has led me in a seat that, you know, it was historic, right? There was never a
Yes, it
black person.
was.
There was never a black person to serve District 2 in North Miami.
Right.
There was
That's
never a
right.
so I, you know, I broke down some barriers. I made the enemy mad, right?
That's
So
right.
and so it all started with being in the right room.
So,
And I'm
Councilwoman, you said something and twice that that you repeated, and I have to follow up on. You volunteered at the fair, and were you a paid intern? Because very often millennials these days always want to get paid, and I try to tell them, volunteer, be in the room, get a seat at the table. You don't always have to be compensated. Just sometimes getting knowledge, you know, bestowed upon you is payment enough. What do you think about that?
you know, I know I'm a millennial, but sometimes I have an old soul. So I tell people I think my real age is like 51, although I'm 31. Because I like my friends are older, like I hang out with an older crowd. But I do believe that and sometimes I tell people, I'm like, hey, it's not all about the money. It's not all about the cost.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to put in that sacrifice. Sometimes you have to put in that blood, sweat, and tear equity, right? And then you'll
Right.
see your fruit. You'll see the labors of your fruit. So for me, it wasn't about the money. For me, it was about the experience. It was about doing my passion, knowing that it was my passion and this is my purpose in life, right? Because we don't want to just do things to make money, because at that point there's no substance there. There's no love there. Like I didn't go into government to make money. I came into government to help change my community. So I think when we kind of change our mindset and say, hey, I'm doing this to better me and to better my community, or to better what you're passionate about, then it doesn't become a job. It's a career, but you have to be willing to sacrifice. And it starts with, like you said, sacrificing that time. You know, we
Right.
go to school, and then from there you got to intern, you know, so that you understand the job, the role that you're getting into. Because if you think about it, if we weren't getting paid for our job, would we really go? So I think I am all for internships, non-paid, but if you can pay the people, of course, hey, let's give you a
Yeah,
little
pay
tip.
the people. Right, 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 right.
If you can't pay the people now, pay the people.
Pay the people, exactly.
agree.
I don't know if you were here when Miss Deanne Connolly Graham came on, but she is so you guys will be familiar with each other. She is the chairwoman of the Women's Business Council of the Miami Beach Chamber, and she's on the Black Affairs and Advisory Committee of the City of Miami Beach. She's all things Miami Beach. And when you talk about being in the right room, if you don't know her, you probably should, but you probably know of her. Deanne, she mentioned doing internships and what have you. You are now on I believe this is the first Black Affairs and Advisory Committee in Miami Beach. For you to be appointed by the mayor, given an exception because you didn't live in Miami Beach, they saw value in you because of the work you put in and the rooms that you've been in. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. That was completely about being in the room. As a matter of fact, one of the things that the mayor said when he was appointing me is, I don't know anywhere that Deanne hasn't been.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I first want to say how much I admire Councilwoman Cassandra. I'm sitting here just getting emotional listening to her. So this is a leadership that gives me hope. These young women that are being strong and understanding the importance of purpose and community service. And it was something that you said, Council, I want to reiterate, local politics is more, I don't know if you said more important than it is. I think so many people are this and that. Our local politics is so incredibly important that we don't have enough people getting out to vote. We don't have enough people understanding the issues, the referendums, all of these things that affect our daily life in our
Absolutely.
and people don't get out and find out. The mayor just passed a fabulous budget in Miami-Dade County. How many people were at those budget hearings to see where that money was going? So we totally have to be in the room when it comes to our community.
Right.
And of course we have to be in the room when it comes to our business. And I will say that one of the things that I reiterate to people is get involved with nonprofits. And you mentioned about interns and not being paid, and volunteering is so important. And we do try to pay our interns. The county has a wonderful program now where we do pay our interns, our young people. But I want to encourage business owners to think about volunteering for nonprofits. Volunteer touches you emotionally that you can get involved in. It needs to be for real.
Okay.
Part of a board, you get to meet really powerful people, movers and shakers in the community. And when you're working shoulder to shoulder with movers and shakers in the community, that's a relationship that's powerful.
Absolutely.
And that's pick up the phone and get a response from almost always.
So I have a question for my millennial sitting next to me. There's something that you guys got a phrase now called clout chasing. You know, where you just want to be around people to get clout and get more, you know, just.
I'm familiar.
Okay. What's the difference? I mean, and we're talking about being in the right room. And then you got the networking where you just go in and you try to be seen and see and be seen. Is that the same as clout chasing? Is that why millennials don't? I mean, how do you guys network without it being called clout chasing?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. So, okay, I can only speak for myself and how I see things.
Okay, speaking the mic for me, pull it up. Okay.
All right, so I'll say this.
Okay.
Clout chasing is it's not good, and it's when you are expecting something for nothing. Almost, you're just trying to ride off the coattail of someone else. If I've learned anything in these, how long has it been? 17 minutes sitting here listening to these incredibly inspiring women, I can say that the difference is when you are in the right room, you are there and there's some sort of sacrifice that has to happen. I'm noticing they're saying, you know, internships and not only
volunteering.
That, yes, but Councilwoman said you need to soak up the information, learn. So it may not be, I'm in the right room, hand me this, hand me that. That would be clout chasing. I'm here with all these movers and shakers. Right. Make me a mover
Here's
and shaker.
Here's my number.
Too.
What's your number?
Exactly.
Right. Trying to
induct
get
me into the club. I want to be one of you.
Right.
That is clout chasing.
Okay.
But if you're in the right room and you're there to learn, you're going to humble yourself. You're going to notice that, you know, everyone around you has something that they can offer you, but also what can you offer them? How can you become a part of the solution and not just the problem? You're not taking from everyone, you are giving and sharing, and then you are in the right room and maybe they'll consider you when it's time to, you know, start this project.
I think what Councilwoman, you mentioned volunteering and being there and you saw the sign saying, do you want to work at the fair, and you went for it. Your constituents, a lot of us, because I have property in your district as well, we always want to be in the right room. Deanne, you mentioned going to these commission meetings. I'm always trying to get there, if not in person, then virtually. How do we not be a nuisance, Councilwoman? Because we want to come in and we want to see you and we want to share our ideas with you, but very often elected officials sort of take a long arm approach, and then it's like you can't see everybody. You can't have us all in your face in your office. What's your best advice on being noticed, making sure the elected officials know my name, making sure that I am playing a part in the community, Councilwoman?
So I think that one, you know, I'm going to piggyback off of the first question too. When you think about clout chasing, it's actually something that I don't do. So I don't even know, like, how did I get to this position, right, Lord? Because I was someone who was in North Miami for 5 years, but no one really knew me because I wasn't the person who wanted to be seen or wanted to be known. I let my work speak for itself. So that's why I was in a position where I was elevated 7 times in my job because I kept doing my work, right? And I had to be the city spokesperson. So I had to be the one constantly speaking, but I would speak, get off stage, and then run because I didn't want to, you know, I just wasn't ready for networking yet, right? Especially in North Miami. But I think when you think about, I like to say I'm not an elected official, I'm a public servant. So I like to welcome the feedback from the public. There's other ways. Of course, there's sending an email. There's, you know, if you want to send a letter, you know, if some people still believe it's mailman, I'm all for it too, right? And making sure that people know, because as an elected official, I want to know what my residents or constituents think about a certain issue before I vote on it, or what are the concerns in the community, because you are our eyes and ears. I can't be at every corner of the district, but like, hey, Cassandra, there's a pothole here. Can we get it filled? And there was one lady who complained about a pothole for 5 years, but I was like, who did you send it to? Who did you send an email to? And once she sent me that email, the pothole was filled within a day. And she was like, Cassandra, I love you, right? I don't take it as a nuisance. I think making sure that you follow your elected officials on social media, know what, issues that they're pushing, making sure that, you maybe support or volunteer or be a part of. But I think, you want to also make an impression, right? Because you kind of know who's clout chasing, who's just seeking popularity or doing things for the gram. But you make sure that you're giving your positive feedback or your construction criticism to say, hey, as a resident here, I expect X, Y, and Z. And as your elected official, well, as your public servant, I'm here to serve you. So I need to hear from you. And if they forget, remind them that he gonna come knock, or he or she will come knocking on your door asking for a vote. So it's give and take. I was knocking at your door asking for something. Now it's time for you to come and knock on my door to say this is what you want. But at the same time too, you do have those residents who call every single day, and you're like, okay, we got to get time for other people to call now. I have to meet other people. But it's within rhyme or reason. But this is definitely a topic that is, I think, because of social media and what social media has done to the younger population, everyone is doing it for the like. Everyone wants to be seen or noticed or like, and attaching to who has that, who has the it factor right now, right? Oh, this person is trending. Let me,
absolutely.
Let me connect with this person. Let me get a photo with that person and then tag so I can get more visibility and more likes. But I think sometimes we just kind of have to take a step back and really self-evaluate. What do we want to put out there? Because when I ran for office, I had to delete my old social media because I started in high school. So
really? You had to delete it?
Yeah, that 08 Cassandra is not the same Cassandra in 2021.
Clean slate.
Started clean. Okay.
Start clean. I was like, let me get refreshed because I was very vocal back then about
Now, have you gained new friends since you got elected and you won election? Everybody from 6th grade on up?
Yes, right. All old classmates, church members. I have so much friends now. It's a beautiful thing. I don't remember everyone's name, but it's a beautiful thing.
Good. Now, Deanne, we talk about social media. Deanne has mastered, Jasmine, the art of social media.
Really?
She has such a huge following, but she's at the right places. She's not just taking pictures of food. She's not just taking pictures of a seagull. She is with mayors. She is with actors and actresses. She is with owners of the most profitable restaurants on Miami Beach. As I said, she's one of the members appointed by the mayor of Miami Beach to the Black Advisory Affairs. Deanne, how do you know the fine line? Because we talked about social media and clout chasing. Where do you draw the line of this is important for my brand and this is a little clout chasing and just where do you draw the line, if there is a line?
So that's a real good question. And I will tell you, as a baby boomer, I never heard that phrase, clout chasing. So I learned something new today. And every day you learn something new. So for that, I'll have to figure out a way to use it in a sentence. But I think that the difference comes if you are authentic in your relationships. And so you find out pretty quickly if someone's just trying to meet you because they want to say they know you. And I think that's a danger. That's a danger for people that are trying to really meet the right people. Because if you all of a sudden are perceived as not being authentic, your credibility is shot. And you will never be able to do it again. And Miami is a small town.
Yes. Yes, we think we're a big city, but we're a small town.
Everybody knows everybody. And if they don't know them, they know their brother or their cousin or someone they work with. So you have to be very careful. Reputation is everything. And so for me, I am very strategic because my time is precious.
Yes.
But I'm also involved in a lot of organizations, and that's important. Who do you align yourself with to begin with?
Okay.
So I make sure that I belong to good business organizations, to reputable nonprofits, and I support them. And I support people that are doing good things. Gotcha. And I do it genuinely. So it's real important that you are a giver but you're a giver that doesn't get abused, because I went through that period too, where I was doing for
everybody. Right.
There's also a balance there.
Okay.
But if you are authentically caring about a certain project or a person or something that they're in, support it. Use social media to support it. You'll see that I post a lot of different things that other people are doing because I like what they're doing and I want them to be successful. So I support what they're doing. I do get annoyed. Sometimes people just assume they can put something on my line. And, you know, I kind of get annoyed with that because I don't want people just throwing things on my page thinking that, knowing that I have a good following.
Right.
I like the fact that people are there, number one, to make business, but also to support others. So when I see that in somebody else, I tend to be more supportive of what they're doing.
Deanne, you are recognized by this beautiful mane of spongy, beautiful silver hair and these piercing blue-green eyes. So if we don't know Deanne Connolly's name, we'll go, you know, the one with the pretty hair and the blue-green eyes, and they go, oh yeah, she's everywhere. And she knows everybody. Do you think it's more important that you know everybody or they know you? Which one?
That's the platinum rule, that they know you, because I meet people that will come up to me, hey, and I'm embarrassed because I don't know who they are or I can't remember because I know I'm connected to a lot of people. Or they connect to me on Facebook and I really haven't met them in person, but they know me through that. So it's important that people know you, but that they know you as a good person, right? And your reputation, I have to say it again, and for our young people, your reputation is everything, and your social media presence is very important. I have people, oh, I don't like social media. Well, who are you connected to? Who's on your timeline? What kind of stuff is happening there? I will delete you in a minute if you have garbage going on. I'm for that, right? And if you're not very active or you're putting up foolishness, I don't want to see everybody's dinner. I don't want to see everybody's cat video.
Right.
So, but you also want to mix in some personal things. So it's not about business, about trying to get business all the time. Throw in little personal stuff, things that keep people interested in you as a person. So that's how I use social media. I promote others and I put up things of interest. I try to educate people, let them know resources, and just to be someone that can be a resource, being someone who's a resource.
See, you just dropped some social media 101 networking tips, you know, adding a little personal business, no foolishness, support other people. You just dropped some knowledge.
Yeah, that was good stuff for sure. I'm like taking mental notes.
Absolutely.
No, that was amazing, Deanne. Like, I just went and followed you just now.
And I think I have to delete some people because I'm constantly at my 5,000 limit. So I have to go in and delete some dead wood.
I love it. Councilwoman, you are one of the young rising stars of South Florida, certainly as a woman of color, as a Caribbean woman, as a woman of Haitian descent. You have so many areas to pull from, and we all want you as to be part of our team, so to speak. Tell us how you feel about that. I mean, you can go into any of these rooms I just mentioned. How do you make sure that you stay connected to each one, but you also know that you're separate from them as well, as a woman, as a Caribbean, as a Haitian? Do you combine them all? All the rooms?
Someone say, yeah, you're able to pollinate between these different groups. And I'm like, it's true. And it's funny that you say that, because I'm like, you know what? When I look at my circle of friends, when I look at people I'm connected to, like I have someone who is 72 who is like my bestie. Sometimes I have to remind her, like, Miss McDonald, you're 72 and I'm over here talking to you like, you know, you're my age. And so,
I love it.
And she's a Bahamian descent and I love her. And you know, when you're so, I guess, diverse in a sense, I'm also a member of Delta Sigma Theta. I
Where's that?
was a member of a Kojic church, but I also, from North Miami, and I love my Haitian culture. And I think it's also just knowing that uniqueness about yourself. You make room for it. You make room for every subgroup. You make room for every entity, and you make them know that, hey, I represent you and you represent me. We are in this together. So you have this sense of sisterhood with your certain groups. And so I think when I think about those different groups, when I think about, the culture, when I think about just being a Black woman in America right now, like, can we talk about Kamala right now?
Girl.
And what she did for us, like, yes. Yes. And so to be a Black woman right now in America, I'm on a natural high, because I feel like we're getting ready to embark on something great. Like, Black women, we're saving America right now.
Yes,
we are saving communities right now. We are saving.
Yes. Preach, sister. Yes. Yes.
So when you think about that importance, let us not forget it. Let us begin to elevate each other. Let us begin to shine light on each one. I'm someone who, I like to sit in the back of the room and allow others to shine. So I like to lead from behind, but sometimes too, I have to lead from the front, because that's why I guess I'm a whole councilwoman now. But I allow every group to have their shine and have their moment, and to make sure that, look, I'm here and I represent you, and I'm here for everyone.
Well, thank you so much for attending this year's Little Black Dress and Pearls. That's an event that the Miami-Dade Chamber, as the chairwoman, I did the inaugural one. It's been going on for 5 years. We have about maybe 300 fabulous Black women in Little Black Dress and Pearls, women of all color, really. So my question is, now that prayerfully the world will open up next year, prayerfully, please wear your mask, please, please, please. And everybody is we're going to be tired of being cooped up. I got outfits I haven't worn in a year. I got to learn how to walk in heels again. Now, I used to always stay in heels, girl. Like I'm almost falling down now. I got to learn how to walk in heels again. It's been so long. Now, I got to admit, I used to choose my networking event by whoever had the biggest shrimp or free drinks. Don't judge me. It was like, okay, is the food free? Is there an open bar? Those were the two things.
Very important.
Then it started being, to your point, Deanne, my time is too valuable, even if it's big shrimp and free cocktails. So then I started saying, Lynda, what are you working on? Who do you need to meet? Where's that person going to be? What are some of the events that person attends? And you need to just be very strategic because in Miami, let's face it, ladies, you can be somewhere every single day. I'm talking Sunday through Sunday.
Yeah.
But who has that time? Right.
Multiple times. Absolutely.
So now it's important causes, like you said, Deanne. But I also need, being that I give back and volunteer for the chamber and the women, I need people to notice me. I'm not going to be embarrassed to say, hello, notice me too. I've put in the work. I'd like your support on something. I've given back. You got to give first. You can't, do the clout chasing things. Is that something millennials are open to, Jasmine? Or you just sit back and say, you don't know me, you got to look at me? Or do you go in and knock on and kick the door open, as you guys say, kick the door open?
I think it's definitely kick the door open days.
Wow.
I'm sensing that there's like this energy in the people these days, and there's a sense of like, we can do it, we can make it happen. And as Councilwoman mentioned, we got Kamala in office. So that was incredibly inspiring. I'm glad you mentioned that, because now, I notice, especially amongst Black women, I'm going into the gym and I see another Black girl and I'm like, hey, like it wasn't like that before.
Is it me? You're right.
Everyone's
We would
nicer.
just walk by each other, Deanne, not say hello, maybe size each other up, Councilwoman. And now it's, girl, I see you in those polka dots, or girl, I see you in that white, and hello, and I sense it too.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, and I love it. It's very inspiring, and it makes me feel more comfortable. So when we talk about networking and being in the right room, I mean, no one really wants to sign up. Yeah, I'll go in the right room, and like you're there in the corner, like afraid, no one's talking to you. But now I feel like, there's a sisterhood out here. It's unspoken, and we all kind of know it, especially what we've been through since 2020, with all the division, political division, and you're just seeing everyone's values and their morals, and you're looking around like, I need to stay close to my sisters. So yeah, I'm
Oh, girl, you
sensing.
said a mouthful.
Yeah, I'm sensing a sense of community again, and so I'm not afraid, and I don't think that our people or my generation is necessarily hiding in the background anymore. I think we're like, let us in, let's communicate, let's chat.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. We are the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. Lynda V. Harris, Chairwoman of the Women's Business Council. This is the last in 4-part series that we've done, sharing the knowledge across generations. We have 20 something, 30 something, 40 something, 50 something, and I'm going to stop there.
I am proud to say I turned 65 this year. I am unapologetic because I know I look good. So
Damn right.
I'm telling my age. I wear it proudly.
You know, I got to get past this whole age is a secret thing, Deanne. I'm working on that. I'm working on that. Listen, you run.
So you don't need to worry about hiding your age, okay?
Thank you.
And you know, blocks don't crack, right? So we can look good in our 80s, all right?
I know, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, you look amazing. But one thing I wanted to mention that Deanne said, and I find that this was amazing advice, I'm gonna keep etched in my memory, when you said join causes that mean something to you, because anytime you're doing anything, to do it from the heart and when it's genuine, like that's just positive energy surrounding what you're doing anyway. So you're gonna get those breaks and that luck, and oh wow, I just happened to be in the right room because you're doing something from your heart. And then you said the people on those boards, you know, in those organizations and the nonprofits, they're movers and shakers in the community.
Absolutely.
So not only are you guys bonding over your shared passion for this cause, but you're doing something good for the community, but now they're looking at you and your character and the things you care about. And that right there is networking, but from the heart, not necessarily clout chasing, like I'm going to enter this room because they're all there.
Exactly. That's the point. And honestly, people see through you fairly quickly. If you're pretending to care about something, right? So, and again, your credibility is shot and you can't go back from that. So that's absolutely correct.
So, Councilwoman, what do you fall in on this? As I said, I will not apologize for wanting to make money. I will not apologize for doing the work first, and I gotta eat. At what point do you say, okay, I'm here, I'm working for the community, I want to be in the right room, but I also want to elevate myself and level up as well? Should they be mutually exclusive, or can they be inclusive and work hand in hand?
No, I definitely think it's room for for both of that to happen hand in hand, because as you elevate, as you go higher, everything that you do is supposed to go high too. You can't be this great politician, but yet, wait a minute, your house is not in order, your finance is not in order. How am I supposed to pass a $67 million budget if my budgeting is not together? So it has to happen in sync. And I think, you know, you just have to make sure that, of course, it's ethical and you're doing it the right way. But it happens together. I literally was telling someone a story about the governor, Governor Scott, now Senator Scott. And I was in Tallahassee, and I was like, this man, while in Tallahassee, realized, wait a minute, these doctors are constantly coming up to Tallahassee talking about emergency room and the rates. And what does he turn around and do? He creates urgent cares. So he saw a problem within the state and saw a way to fix it. And now he's a billionaire because you were the entity behind all of these urgent cares popping up throughout the state. So there's opportunity. Yeah, right.
Drop some knowledge there.
There's opportunity to see a problem, and also in fixing that problem, you're also fixing yourself too to get ahead. So I can't fault the man for seeing that problem, for hearing their cry and saying, well, you know what, let me get ahead of this and let me get my family together, because it's also about creating that generational wealth within our community, right? Because if mama ain't got it, but you're at a place where you have it, now you can create a generational wealth within your own family. So I think there's opportunity there. I think it's also about sharing it. I'm always giving people great ideas. I'm like, hey, this is a problem. If you can fix it, if you can become the next Amazon where you're making money in your sleep, trust me, there is an opportunity there for you to grow. And I look forward to I'll be hosting events like that in the future, where I can show people how to make money with government, because, or how to set your business, how to do business within the city, because that's something that a lot of people tend to forget, that government is probably one entity that's never going to go out of business, right?
Right. They will always have money.
They always have money because we're banking off your money, right?
That's right.
So ways to do business with the city, even if it's something as simple as, hey, you're a baker. Do you know how much cakes we order at the city? Or you're you're
Wow.
a business owner, or you're selling dresses, or whatever it is, we can probably find a niche for you within the city, or try to elevate, different businesses and different entities. So I always tell people, if you're not in government, you probably should pay attention. And it starts with serving on boards in your local government. So if you live in Miramar, if you live in Pembroke, see what boards can you join, see where your interests align, and then kind of set yourself up that way. You'll be surprised how many door opens.
I was sharing with Jasmine, there's always in every municipality a young leaders group. You know what I mean? And then a lot of them start in their 20s, to your point, at 15 and interning in 20s. And then you sort of just, they know you. So you kind of start, maybe with the local Y or the girls club or the young, I don't know. There's always something out there. Again, going, like Deanne said, from your heart. And there's something called doing well while doing good. You can be a multimillionaire and still do well. As a matter of fact, that's preferable.
Yeah.
Doing well while doing good, for sure.
You can do more for you.
You can do more for your community
that are important to you when you've got your own, for sure.
Absolutely. We got a lot of chats coming in. Absolutely. It says, love the self-drive Councilwoman has set for herself. Congratulations. I got a congratulations, Deanne. How inspiring you are. You're speaking facts, Miss Deanne. I got a great advice for sure, Miss Harris. Hope you continue on with this platform. I'm sure we will. And we talk about women, and you mentioned something, Councilwoman. I read somewhere that if each woman supported another woman's business, we all will be multimillionaires. Let me say that again. If each woman made it a point to support another woman's business, we all would be, and I'm talking Black women, multimillionaires. So when we say being in the right room, the first thing we need to do is acknowledge that what we need to do is support each other. You know what I mean? To uplift each other, to your point, Jasmine. Deanne, you mentioned that you had another event to go to this evening. The fact that you are so busy and you're out there supporting everybody, how do you pick what event to go to? You are literally, like I said, you run circles around all of us. Tell me, can I just call you and say, I need you here? Can I just call you and say, can you post here? Because your room, believe me, have the power brokers and the movers and shakers. How do you decide which room to be in and who to support?
So sometimes it's a challenge.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine getting the Hispanic Award today at 6.
Thank you.
But it's very late, because this is a wonderful discussion and I'm honored to be a part of your panel. But I do multiple events that I'll stop in for an hour here, a half an hour there, take pictures. People ask me that, how do you go to so many places? I say, I take pictures, and that's the key. You take a lot of pictures. You don't have to stay there for hours, and you can do this. But it's important, I think, to show support for others. And so if I feel it's something that is supporting a business that I care about or a community issue, I'm there. As far as posting, I usually will post if it's an authentic event that will help people. I'm not posting foolishness. So I try to be very discerning about what I promote and where I show up. And so, because my time is valuable, yes. And I try to do something that's either going to make a difference in the community or it's going to help my bottom line in my business. And I just want to say a quote that I share often from the Dalai Lama: the world will be saved by the Western woman. And the reason he said that is that Western women have the opportunity to be wealthy. And a wealthy woman can change the world. Yes, we're going to buy a lot of shoes, Lynda. But there is not a single businesswoman that I know that is not involved in some way, shape, or form with a nonprofit. whether she's on the board, whether she supports them, whether she's started one. Every single woman I know that's in business is part of a nonprofit in some way. So we need to be wealthy. To your point, it should not be, oh, money is bad and the root of all evil and all of that foolishness we grew up with, right? Wealthy if we're going to change the world.
Councilwoman,
on that.
Me too. Councilwoman, let's talk culturally. I mentioned that you have a Haitian background, and we all grown enough to say that there's some cultures that are more machismo, that you can't be in the room, or culturally men and women aren't seen as this equally as far as in politics or in business. As a woman, we're told to be seen and sometimes not be heard. You are not only young, but from a Caribbean culture. How important is it, or how difficult has it been while you're in that room to say, hello, guys, I'm here. I know I look young. I'm here. I am a woman. How difficult, or being a millennial, was that even a factor to you?
I think for me, it wasn't, because I'm also the youngest of four. So I always felt like I was the oldest, right? So I was the one who also liked to break tradition. So I wasn't a rule follower. I felt like the rules are meant to be broken, certain things. So it was set this way, but let me be the one to change it, right? Let me be the one to show another perspective. I was the first one to go off to college. My mom was hell bent. Nope, you're not going. You're not going. I'm like, I'm going, and you're gonna be happy, right? And so I left, and she was like, wow, you know what? I wish I sent all my kids off to college, because you came back. Out of all, you came back correct, right? And so I think sometimes it's about just showing a different perspective, or making sure that what you believe in is what you push. My mom would always tell you, but my mom, she would always say, Cassandra, you're always the one that's pushing against the margin. I'm like, yeah, because the margin was set there by a person, maybe a man, right? And I think that margin needs to be pushed. So I was always the one who was testy, the one who would, go against the grain. And I think that if that's you, do so. Don't play it safe. Sometimes we have to take risks. Sometimes we have to say, hey, I'm a woman, I'm speaking right now, so I need you to listen. So command the room. So don't just walk in it. Command it, set it, and say that this is how we're moving. So I may be the youngest one, and I said, you know what? Do I come in quiet and maybe just listening first?
Right.
No, that didn't happen. I came in, I shook up the room. I came in, I said, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to move, because my district is the most diverse. It's actually like four ethnic groups, or I would say four races. We have a large Haitian population, I have a large white population, and a Hispanic, and also another like Caribbeans. Like I'm running into Trinidadians and all types of people in North Miami. So we're this melting pot. And so I think when you think about that, we're this melting pot, that we're moving in a certain direction. You can't go at it the same way. So I said, hey, I'm not going to allow anyone to silence me in this moment, because I have the floor and I'm speaking. So if I have something to say, I say it. Don't hold back, because right now, if not, that's when you get walked on over. Or she's young, she doesn't know. I said, no, if anything, I think my colleagues realize on the dais, I probably have the most advantage, because I was on the inside for 5 years. So there's things that I know that they don't know. So they're like, this little girl, she's different, because I see it from both perspectives. I had that inside perspective, and now I'm seeing it from the outside. So where the outside is new to me, where collaborating with all these different entities may be new, but government is not new at all.
Wow, that's a very good point. The fact that you worked in local government in the government that you're now helping to run, that is powerful, and that's a huge advantage. I must say, I had to grow into my skin like a lot of us women. And when I first, Jasmine, kind of got out there volunteering, going to these meetings, networking, I was sort of that little wallflower, because I know, the cliche is there's no such thing as a dumb question, but the worst thing you can do as you're the new person in the room and you ask a question and everybody just kind of turn around and look at you. Nowadays, Jasmine, I don't care. If I don't know, I will not pretend I know. If I don't know, I'm going to say, listen, call me what you want, say what you want, but I need to make sure when I leave this room, I understand and not be embarrassed because it may come off a certain way. How do you,
So let me ask you.
Okay.
Did that come with time as you got more comfortable in your skin? Experience?
Absolutely, Jasmine.
Yeah, because I'm struggling with that right now. I'm like, oh, I'm glad you don't care.
No. It comes, and being around people like the councilwoman and Deanne, and I'm telling you, you show me a woman's friends, I'll show you her future.
That's true.
It is so important to know that, I, like she said, yeah, I'm the youngest one, but I'm kicking the door open, and the people, her other council members, they know she's not one to be played with. So I think when you just, there's something powerful to your point about being in a certain community. We're talking about being in the right room. How important is that? Miami is different than a lot of, it's something about Miami is different than LA, it's different than New York. Yeah, they're all got their clout chasers, and they all are, LA, everyone's an actress. Atlanta, everybody got a reality show. New York, everybody about to start a big business. Miami is just, I can't, it's so je ne sais quoi. I can't put my hands on it.
So Miami.
It's so Miami, and that's a phrase. And so, I'm sorry.
I think that's an echo.
Oh, okay, it was echo. But it's just so important to see and be seen here. And the name of my book is Fabulously Fake and Beautifully Broke.
Ooh.
And that's so big in Miami.
Yeah.
And so we all want to be in the right room, but very often it's for the wrong reason. And we're out there and we're chasing, and we look good, and we got a purse that costs maybe $2,500, but we got $25 in it. So as women and as Black women, yes, it's important to be in the right room, but to your point, Miss Deanne, it's got to be for the right reason as well. At what point do you just say, I'm getting off this train, this is not the right room for me? You talk about being in the right room. What room isn't right for you, Deanne?
So I encourage people, especially in Miami, to belong to a chamber or an organization like the Miami-Dade Chamber or the Beacon Council, something that is a legitimate business organizations, because you weed out the scammers and the con artists, right? So that's the first thing, to belong to an organization where you will be around authentic professionals. And from there, then again, you go to your own, what's important to you. And your instincts will tell you, okay, this feels good. Or this person, I like what they're saying. I'm attracted to his philosophy or her way of doing something. I want to get to know her better. So follow your own instincts when you meet people. I'm a big believer in connecting with someone's energy. Don't be that person that's running around just giving everybody your business card.
Oh, yeah.
Going in the trash, I promise you.
Oh
yeah. Don't do that. And people are like, who is that person? Why are they, so that shows someone that you're not interested in developing a relationship. Or you talk to someone and all of a sudden you realize this can't be my end user, and you're looking around to talk to somebody else.
Gotcha.
And you totally disrespected the person you're talking to.
Gotcha.
So it's very important that we be considerate, that we don't make assumptions, that we create relationships. When you go out to a networker, it's not about how many business cards can I hand out. It's about who can I really have talked to. And if you see people standing by themselves, be a host. Go over and introduce yourself. Bring them to someone. Ask them, what do they need? Don't be giving your 30-second elevator pitch and, oh, I'm this and I'm that.
Right.
Ask them, who are they? Who do they need to meet? Who are they looking for? Who is their ideal client? What's your passion? Why did you get into this business? How did you become a councilwoman at age 30? Ask questions that allow you to have a dialogue and show interest in that person. Don't be scanning the room. Is someone better coming in?
Right, right.
That's just so rude. And when you do that, you find out that it might take you longer. You might only hand out 3 or 4 business cards, but those are quality. Right? Quality, not quantity. Find out who's going to be at that networker. So be strategic before you even go there.
Absolutely.
Is people there that I want to know, the head of this or the CEO of that or the marketing director for this? Do your homework.
Now, is that something I should be ashamed of? Because I sure enough do that. I'm like, okay, I need this done with the water department. They're hosting their annual holiday party and the director of Miami-Dade Water and Sewer will be there. And is that wrong of me to just, is that plotting? Is that, I mean.
That's being strategic. That's being strategic.
Okay.
And then on top of that, if you find out where is that person's head at with that particular project, right? LinkedIn is powerful. Get on LinkedIn if you're not already.
Powerful. Absolutely.
Do your research on LinkedIn. The other thing LinkedIn will tell you is what nonprofit that corporation president is a part of. What do they care about? Look in that interest portion, not just their resume. Look and see are they interested in children and animals and and that's where the conversation goes, because then you touch people emotionally.
Gotcha. There's so many groups out there, Councilwoman. Every time, and you can go on social media, everybody got to meet up in a group. You got the female millionaires, you got the Black up and coming people. Everyone has a group. How do you determine where to speak at, Councilwoman? What group you're going to throw your support behind, and what room you're going to be in? Because you got a future here in Florida as politician. I see you, but you got to be careful, to your point, on who you align yourself with. I think our police chief just took a picture with a hate group, but he didn't know it. How do you? I know everybody has a group and a cause. How do you weed it out, Councilwoman?
I think for me, I have a little grace period because I am tired. I ran an election for a year and they tell you it takes you about a year to heal, right? So I have been taking it very slow. I haven't been out as much as I should because I also want to assess. So at first I was like, oh, Cassandra, you probably need to get out more. You probably need to get out more. But then at the same time too, I was like, no, I probably need to be a little bit more reserved because I realized not every room deserves my access. Not every person deserves that connection, right? Or maybe not right now because there's something that I need to know that may be revealed later on. So I take my moment before I walk into a group or introduce myself. I need to see it 360 and half the time it comes around full circle. So I think for me, it's, it is about being strategic. It is about, you know what, let me go to Little Black, let me go to the Little Black.
And thank you for coming to Little Black Dress in Pearls.
I've never been, but I did my research. I'm like, okay, let me see how am I supposed to dress. Let me see the old pictures. Let me see who's in the room, because I realized that every room is important. And now I'm important in every room because now people want me in those rooms. And so I have to be mindful of who I give my attention and my access to. But at the same time, too, I also know that I'm an elected official now, Cassandra. So you have to be seen. People are going to be like, well, wait a minute. Did she just run and hide back in her shell? Because I'm a homebody. Like, yeah, my hat's off to you. I was strolling through your Instagram and I'm like, yes.
I know.
Yes. And I was like, I know my time will come where I'll but right now I've been healing. I've been soaking my feet, going to the gym, moisturizing and getting myself healthy, getting myself ready, because I know once I do go out, once I do become this, 7 to 7 person, I need to be in the right mind frame. I need to have the right health, situation going on. I need to be ready for this. This is not just Cassandra go, but let me prepare for it and prepare for it strategically.
Because Councilwoman, South Florida politics is a blood sport. And oh my goodness, I get you. You ran it for a whole year. You deserve a downtime because South Florida politics, it's And I know you and your character, and you want to serve. And so that's a very good idea to just sort of take it slow. Deanne, we just got a comment saying, Miss Deanne, you should do a business etiquette class. The aha moment. Love the analysis. Oh my God. That is so me. Observe and research. So we're getting a lot of good feedback. Jasmine, you millennials, you talk about meetups and so many things to do. There's so many things and places you can do. You guys party with the purpose. You know, you every party you do your networking and you combine them. How do you choose where to go, who to be with, who gets your time?
That's a really good question. In all honesty, I'm I'm probably not outside as much as I should be. I feel
Okay.
like I need to do way more networking than I have.
Okay.
And so this conversation has been very beneficial for me because, I'm that person who you asked Councilwoman Cassandra how she has been able to be in these rooms and be the youngest, be Black, be a woman. And in all honesty, I struggle with that. I feel like
Really?
they call it imposter syndrome, where I feel
Oh,
like I
girl.
don't have the right to.
I don't deserve to be
Yeah,
here. I don't have
yeah,
the credentials to be here.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of Black women suffer from imposter syndrome.
yeah. And you
It's
know
real.
what? The only thing I can take from this conversation is what when you asked her that question,
Hmm.
she said that she had already had years of experience and she had her knowledge up. And that for me, I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, so how am I gonna be like Miss Deanne, and how am I gonna be like Councilwoman Cassandra and Miss Harris? Well, I need to get my knowledge up so that when I am in these rooms, I don't feel self-conscious about, raising my hand or speaking out loud, because first you have to take care of yourself, make sure you're equipped, make sure you know what you got going on. And there's nothing wrong with learning, on site and on job training,
Mhm.
but you just want to have that confidence and feel equipped enough to, so that's what I'm getting at. Like, I gotta
Good
get
deal.
myself together and then I'm gonna go outside like Cassandra.
Deanne, I think it goes to your point, being in the room sometimes at events that you care about. So if you care about it, you can speak on it.
That's true.
Exactly. Exactly. And again, authenticity is key. Um, and I think it's important to, again, be strategic, because our time is valuable and we have to realize, okay, is this going to lead to more business? Is this going to lead to benefit my community? And sometimes the both go together. Sometimes they mix. I love to say I mix business with pleasure. And because I do have fun, I do enjoy networking. And, if it's not fun, I don't do it.
Love it.
That's a great
Love it.
philosophy.
Love it. Yeah. So that's doing well while doing good and having
And
fun.
having fun.
Having fun.
And
That's
having fun.
Yeah.
All of the above. Councilwoman Timothy, you now are again getting your name out there. How do you make sure that when folks like me come up to you, how do you vet us? How do you make sure that we're not just wasting your time and want you in our room to clout chase, so to speak?
No, I love Google. It's a powerful tool. It'll bring up everything, right? And
That's
so I
true.
definitely Google first, right? It's the first thing I do is Google, Google, Google. And two, the last thing is Miami is actually very small. Everybody knows someone that knows someone that knows someone. And you might be surprised who in your circle might have been in communication. Everybody is somebody's brother, sister, cousin,
Went to
somebody.
school with them, and yeah.
School with someone, know someone. Oh yeah, this person knows. So you kind of feed around or ask around, or just hey, I'm just here seeking information. I think information is a powerful tool. The more you know, the more equipped you are, the more ready you are, the more better planned you are. So just getting that information and getting it from wherever source, not putting your 2 cents in, but just collecting the information, gathering it, and then analyzing it. So I think for me, I do my homework. I make my calls and just kind of sniff around and see, okay, what's going on here, just to see what people will say. So I know as I'm saying this, I'm also, thinking about myself and how do I put myself out there and how are people feeling about me, and what are they saying. So you kind of have to have this posture about you, right? Like, this is who I am. This is, what I do. And this is how, this is Cassandra. The one thing I can say about me is that what you see is what you get. People who've known me for kindergarten will say Cassandra is the same Cassandra. She is the same smiling person. They used to call me Petty KT in the office. So I am still that Cassandra, right? Maybe a little bit more reserved, because not everybody needs to see Petty KT. But but it's just knowing who you are, and whose you are in this season. But I think for me, it's just, just doing that research, Googling, and then filling them out. If something tells you, this doesn't feel right, or it's something listen to those still small voices, because half the time they're right about something and they're warning you. But if it feels right, if it, it passes all my sense tests, I'm with it.
I will be the incoming chairman of the board of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I am now the chair elect. And so to your point, Jasmine, okay, do I know what I'm doing and what's my platform going to be? And one of the biggest causes I care about is making sure young women, young boss chicks like yourself, we all are in the same room together. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's so important to me. But again, you have to at some point grow in your skin. But I believe others may have an advantage, other ethnicities, ethnic groups rather, because they're exposed. Exposure is everything.
That's true.
They're exposed. They go to the dinner parties. They're part of the mom and dad's country club. Mm-hmm. They're going and they're not hobnobbing with the governor and the governor's kids and all that. We as a group are very, very powerful. We have spending power, trillions of dollars. We all can be and should be in the same room, because that imposter syndrome is real until you just get exposed.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
And just kind of mingle. And to the councilwoman's point, this is me. I'm in my skin, but it does take some time. So I think as one of the incoming chairs, that's something that's going to be big to me. When we started Little Black Dress and Pearls, I love fashion and I love being my finances being in the black. So we did it hashtag women, wisdom, and wealth. And why can't we look like fly boss chicks in our little black dresses, but talk women, wisdom, and wealth? And we're all in the same room, like 300 of our best friends. And I think that helps as well. Mm-hmm. Did you find that when you attended? Because you've been to a couple of them.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Things like that, the little black dress, panels like this, it makes me feel not only comfortable, but then I'm like, wow, in my head, like, these are the people at the top. These are the movers and shakers. These are the people doing it. And look how down to earth everyone is. Look how kind and like willing to share knowledge everyone is. So a lot of times that imposter syndrome is really just you holding yourself back. It's not because people are mean or no one wants to help you out, but you gotta, well, they say closed mouths don't get fed. So you gotta speak up. You gotta get out there. And it's crazy because you would think that, I've overcome imposter syndrome before being in college, being a first generation college student, and I'm there like shy in the back of the lecture. But then by the time I'm graduating, I'm like, professor, something's not adding up. You just get comfortable with it. So I guess it's something that you have to overcome in many aspects of life. And so it's the networking aspect that's making me shy. But I'm learning that, again, closed mouths don't get fed, and you have to network, you have to talk to people, you have to share ideas, because we need each other.
We do. Deanne, you made me think of an experience I had. I went to a networking event. Oh my God, might have been 9 years ago, and there was a gentleman just sitting at the bar. It was at a restaurant or something. And nobody was talking to him. And I went over, hi, I'm Lynda Harris. I'm a financial advisor and I'm a developer and I do this and this and this. And he says, you're a financial advisor? Yeah. Well, I run a nonprofit and we're looking for a financial advisor firm, Black owned. And I got a $4 million account.
Wow.
Just because I went up to him. He said, you came up to me, you introduced yourself, you followed up because he gave me a card. And I called and he was busy. I think I may have called 3 times. I'm good at that, as you know, Councilwoman. And I will follow up. And I ended up landing a $4 million account and they let us manage their money. So to your point, Deanne, if you see somebody by themselves, you never know who that person is. Am I right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I actually do networking workshops. And one of the things that I say is that, well, first of all, I tell people, do not go to a networker hungry. You're not there to eat. You're not there.
Oh, man. No, I'm kidding.
You're not there to drink.
It's not a good look. Yeah.
Not a good look if you get sloshed and no. And you've got a drink in one hand and food in the other. How do you network?
Right.
So that's the basic. But
That is so
as
true.
far as talking to people and introducing, again, be a host. Think of yourself as a host. So what you did, Lynda, you saw someone by themselves, and look what happened. So you never know who that person sitting by themselves might be.
Yep. And it still to this day is a great relationship, and I've got an ancillary business and on and on and on. So it's a beautiful thing. Councilwoman, how do you make sure, because I know, like I said, I see your political future growing. How do you want to select your next room? Do you go to the young, I don't want to say Democrat because I don't know your political affiliation, but do you go to the young political conferences? How do you decide how to level up in the political arena?
I think for me, it's funny because in the political arena, believe it or not, people are already deciding my next move. Cassandra didn't, because this wasn't my move, right? I didn't want this now. I was like, I don't know right now. Let me wait till I'm like 40, 45, I've got some more racks in the bank. But and so the opportunity presented itself, and I went running for it. So I know for being, I feel like the way I started this process, meaning, one planted a seed and I was like, okay, should I do it? Assess with everyone, and everyone said go, is probably how I'll, I hope is how it continues on. Because I know I wanted to be in politics, but sometimes your future kind of scares you, right? Because people are like, oh, I can see you at Congress. The moment I ran, people are like, you're gonna go higher. No, you gotta go to.
No, yeah.
Text yesterday, won't you run for governor? I said, excuse me, governor. Can I govern North Miami now, please? So, I think, it's interesting how, I guess the cookie crumbles. I'm not looking at people's races to see, okay, who's getting ready to be termed out next because I want to run for that seat. No. That's not my MO, at least. But it was interesting to see that I've gotten several calls and people who are like, okay, we know what the next step is going to be. Yes, I was kind of shocked. I was like, okay.
But you know what, Councilwoman, I do that with Jasmine, my niece here. I'm like, okay, you need to get this license. Then why don't you go get a general contractor's license, because we're building now. And then why don't you? And she's like, whoa. I want to do what I love. And how do I combine passion and profit? I'm like, you got to do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do, because and she's like, whoa. To your point, she's right, Jasmine. Other people are making your next move for you. And at some point, you got to kind of slow the train down. You definitely slowed the train down.
Yeah, I was like, I told you.
She shut it down, but I just see so much in my young, beautiful sisters. And it's one thing I know, that you can't get time back. I'm great. I'm in a great place. But boy, if I had the wisdom that I have now, when I was your age, I would, y'all couldn't stand me. I would kill it.
I think sometimes you older generation, you guys
seasoned.
Seasoned.
Thank you,
ladies. You have these like, oh, I should have done, like you just said, I should have done this. So then you start like swamping us with it. Like, because if I were you, this is what I would have done 30 years ago or 20 years ago. I know. So yes, and wow, I love that. I love that, because you've given me so much so far. Amazing. But it's up to me to use my own, decision making to see what's going to make me happy in my life. Like Councilwoman said, yes, you want me to run for governor and all this stuff, but let me move at my own pace. So,
yeah, and just to add to that too, because I love these spaces where the young and the seasoned come together, because this phrase, and this phrase is near to dear to me, because a lot of people that I've always hung out with were older. So it's like, if the young knew what the old could. So I think sometimes the younger generation has to we have to silence our stuff. So if she's telling you something, it's because she sees an opportunity. There's a window. That window is going to be closed if you don't move it. Sometimes you need someone to push you out the window, because we're too busy peeking over it to see, well, can I?
Safe?
No. You need that push. You need that mama bear. You need that loved one to say, go for it. Stop holding back. Stop allowing fear and doubt to enter. This is your time. This is your moment. Seize this opportunity, because it may not come again. So, and I had to think about that when I decided to run. Like, do I leave? Oh man, like I didn't realize she was termed out this soon. I thought she had 3 more years. And if I didn't run, I had to wait another 8 years to run. Did I really want to sit down in North Miami and it's 5 years and I'm tired? So I wasn't ready. And it's not when you're ready. It's not when you plan it out. It's when the opportunity presents itself. So also remember that that door may not open again. So if you don't walk out it now, you might miss your moment. So sometimes, you know, you have to listen to the seasoned folks in the room because they know more than we do.
That's a very, very good point.
I want to add to that and say a phrase that I've heard many times. A smart person learns by their own mistakes. A wise person learns from someone else's mistakes.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Yeah. Somebody just said, you just gave me goosebumps. I have to let go of my imposter syndrome. And then another comment says, this is why I started going to networking myself, to let go of my shyness.
Yeah,
it is very powerful, Deanne. But boy, you just broke my heart, because I definitely would go to networking events for the big shrimp. and to your point, it is not a good look to have you talking and you sipping, and then you go back for that third one and you really don't remember anybody's name the next morning. Networking 101.
The work, there's a work in that word, network.
So can you have a little sip?
I say one drink. If you're going to sip a glass of wine, sip that one glass all night, really, or get club soda or something, because everyone else is drinking and they're acting a fool. So you're standing out, first of all, as a professional, and you've got your head is not, buzzing. Mm-hmm. So networking is working. It's part of your job. It's part of your strategy for business. And I think people tend to see it as a party. Yeah. And so they don't go there with that mindset that this is work. You can have fun, but you have to go there with the mindset that this is part of my work.
We are the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. This is the last in a workshop series, sharing the knowledge between and across generations. We have Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy, one of the youngest elected officials in South Florida. We won't plan her future for her. We're going to let her do that. But I am so, so grateful. What a trailblazer. We have Miss Dion Connolly here with us. If you don't know her, you know somebody who know her. Thank you both so, so much for just taking time out. I hope it was a nice, calm conversation. And I'd like to just have you leave us with some parting words on being in the right room. You go first, Deanne.
So being in the right room means being true to yourself and what's important to you, and being in the room that's going to be valuable for you and your mission and your vision and what you want to do with your life. Don't try to copy someone else or be somebody else. Do what's true to yourself, and be in that room with the people that are in that same mindset that can advance you and contribute to your purpose.
Like-minded people. Be in the room with like-minded people. Mm-hmm. Very good. Councilwoman Timothy, last words on being in the right room, how to do it, how to master it, how to make it work for you.
In any room that you may walk into, just know that there's a reason for you to be in that room. And it may not be right now. You may not know the reason now, tomorrow, or from five years from now, but it's come back. And it's also going to be, what did you do while you were in the room? Who did you talk to? What information did you get, and how did you use that information to empower yourself or your community? So whether that room is your work or your job or a board that you serve on, you're there and you're on a mission, and you have to complete that mission. And you have to do it as though you were working for, a pharaoh or a prince, not to carry their favor, but to carry your favor. And so I tell people, I love this scripture, because I used to always tell people, I'm not working for you, I'm working for Jesus. Because if I was working for Jesus, how would I work? So when you walk into that room, just remember that you're on a mission, you're on an assignment, and complete that mission, but also realize, what did you contribute to the room and what did the room give you? So I think for me, being in the right room has gotten me here. Being in the right room is the reason why I am serving, because it was the room that changed me, and now I am changing the rooms. So I think it is it's a powerful thing to walk in a room and know why you're there. Or if you don't know why, trust me, you will.
That is amazing. And again, Miami is so big on, girl, you wasn't here when I was in the room with J-Lo here. You know, we got a lot of stars here. And I was in the room with this one. And I was in the room, but did you make an impact in that room? Were you just in the room to take to the end point to take a picture? Did they know you were even in that room? What did you get out of that room other than coming back bragging and saying, I was at this event with this person, this well-known person? They don't know you. You know what I mean? Were they like-minded people? Were you there to make a difference or just to see and be seen? Jasmine, your last words on just being in the right room. Have you learned anything? What's your take on it now? Has it even shifted since we had this conversation?
I feel like I'm a whole new person after this conversation. I'm doing a recap in my head as you're talking. I'm like, all right, don't hand out your business cards. I never knew that was a
yeah. Everybody just you don't want to be that
making
person.
it rain business cards. I know not to do that. Don't eat or drink. Be confident and don't have that imposter syndrome. I deserve to be there. I am knowledgeable. I am worthy. Don't be afraid to go up to the people alone. Speak, introduce yourself. You can make some amazing business by just opening your mouth and saying something when you're in that room. I learned a lot from Cassandra in terms of just self-determination and like the amount of the way she's inspired me in this conversation, just being young and not being afraid to be in those rooms, just being a young person and not feeling like you don't have the right to be there. Like that is just incredibly inspiring. And I hope you go so far. I don't want to be the one like run for mayor, run for governor, run for president, but really, please.
Thank you.
No, that was very powerful. I am again so thankful that both of you ladies came. Jasmine, thank you for hanging in there with me with this series. To our president of the chamber, Mr. Eric Knowles, the chairman of the board, Mr. Jeff Lozado. Thank you all for supporting the Women's Business Council. And again, we're just here to hopefully drop some knowledge and just have a nice conversation. It was so important to do it amongst different generations. To your point, Councilwoman Timothy, it's so important to have the seasoned in the room with the young millennials. And I learned something from Jasmine every time we talk. Every time we sit down, and girl, what's going on? What's up for this week? And then she learns from me. I learned from you. I learned from Deanne. It's so important. There's no such thing as competition. There's enough for everybody. It's all about collaboration. And I am so serious about that. And that's why I got involved with the chamber and especially the Women's Business Council. I get accused of being a feminist all the time. But you know what? That's not a bad word. That is not a dirty word. A feminist means somebody who wants to see everybody treated equally.
Equality.
Absolutely. So men out there can be feminists. We all are.
They should be.
They should be. Again, thank you so very much. We love you. I will be seeing you hopefully when the world opens. Right now, I think we're doing a lot of limited things
on
Zooms, a lot of Zooms. Deanne, thank you. I know you have an event you're outside of in your car. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy, thank you for pulling over on the side of the road to be part of this.
No problem.
Definitely drop some knowledge. And we will see each other soon. Everybody be safe out there. And thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Lynda. Thank you, Councilwoman. I'd love to be able to meet you in person one day. You're a phenomenal young lady.
Thank you. Thank you. Same here.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.